is Gero Grundmann. I'm a communications designer working in Hamburg and in London, and I'm doing a lot of work that's related to museums and archives, collections. It's connected with craft and communication with aspects of inclusivity, sustainability, and also general processes behind design, how we see the world and then how we translate that into designed products, pieces of communication. Something I really enjoy to dive in behind the scenes of the museum and really go through items of the collection, which you would normally just see as individual objects. You know, there would be very little contextual information, and so it's difficult to find out what you're actually looking at, and its context as well, its cultural context. There are lots of objects of everyday use, technical objects, also craft artifacts, and you just don't know how they're made. You know, you don't know anything really about the people behind them, and that's what I was trying to bring to light. And then to find a few exemplary objects that would really allow me to tell their story. You can see here it's got many layers of wood blocks, so you're going from a single wood block to lots of them, and through them, like a concertina, you would be weaving fabric. And you can see that actually if you weave it through there, you get an enormous length of fabric that you can actually print or dye in a very small vertical space. So it would be really good for the workshops. They could have 10 or 20 of these presses working in rotation. Using laser cutting, I've created printing plates, printing blocks similar to the ones that would have been used in the original press, but actually using today's technology. So this is a pixelated portrait of a sideshoe. You have two printing plates with mirrored images, pixelated images, and between them you would place a piece of fabric, silk in this instance. Let's take this. And then these mirrored images would be lined up and pressure applied to them. And then through these holes we would apply a fabric dye. And that would sink into the fabric, move around the fabric and dye it. And then you would take these plates out of the dye, dry them, and you would get a negative image basically of same as you would have done with this press. When I looked through the collection, I saw all the prints and paintings and artifacts in it, and then I saw this machine. It made me think, well, okay, you have a whole range of objects that are outcomes, and this object is about a process. This object, is about the ability to make something, to create things, and like with other forms of printmaking and other technologies that we're using, there are lots of opportunities for learning, to experience that process, to actually try it hands-on, and also the opportunity to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And this idea of experimentation and asking those questions, well, how did people get there? How did people get to this stage? Producing these forms of early mechanization, what did they do when this didn't evolve any further? How did they overcome this? So the stories behind the objects are really, really rich and deep. And that story can be told in many different ways. It can be told through the materials that they're made of. It can be by contextualizing them within the time they were created in, and also by trying to bring them into now, into today, and to see and to look at how we would see them, use them, live with them today.